Alrighty guys, so now we're on the last part of our lesson. We're going to put it all together, okay? So we went over combining like terms, we went over distributing, and now we have to do, and also inverse operations, forgot about that part. Now we got to do all that together. So when we do all that together, okay, we might get questions that look like this. And as you can notice up here, I wrote these right here, and these are your steps. And this is the order you have to do them in. So basically just remember, everything that you just learned, except now we have a certain order you have to do it in. If you don't do it in that order, you will get it wrong, okay? And don't forget, inverse operations is also known as SADMAP, and doing opposites, just in case you forgot, okay? So I'm going to put down a question with a distributing question first. So let's go 2 times 2x minus 6. And then on this side, I'm going to add something right here. Let's add, let's see here. What do I want to add? Oh, I got it. Let's add a 6x is equal to 44. Okay. So just like what we did before, but just go in order. Now, first things first, build your wall. Now you have a left side of the wall and a right side. You always make that line on the equal sign. Okay, so first you got to check for any parentheses or exponents. We have parentheses right here. And as you can see, we have a 2 right here. So just like before, draw that road from here to here. Now think about the rules. What kind of 2 is that? Is that a positive? It sure is. We get a 2x right here. So that's supposed to multiply or divide, or what do we do when we distribute, right? Think about that. When I distribute, I multiply. Okay, so 2 to 2x. So 2 times a positive 2x gives you a positive 4x. I'm going to write that right there. Okay? Now that we have that right there, we go follow the road to, what kind of 6 is that? Right? Ask yourself, what kind of 6 is that? And don't forget, look at the symbol in front. That's a negative 6. So 2 times a negative. A positive times a negative gives you a negative. So make sure you put that negative symbol there. 2 times 6 is 12. So that turns into a 4x minus 12. Now you see how the rest of this did not change? If it didn't change, I got to put it in the same spot. Now put down the equal sign first. And the 6x is on the left side, so I got to make sure I put them over here. Just like that. And the 44 is on the right side, so put them down. Boom. So we put what changed, and we put what didn't change, okay? And you guys see how we look at this right here? If you cover all that up, we basically just multiplied all that, right? So easy peasy. Now, I don't see anything else to distribute. Do you guys see any parentheses around here? I don't, so we're done with that one. Boom, done. Now we have to check for like terms. Remember that you can't go across that wall because what's going to happen? It's going to mess up everything. So just look at the left side of this equation, right? Look at the left side. What numbers do you see that are like terms? And let's see here. I have a 4x right here and a negative 12. Why is that a negative 12? Look at the symbol in front. Is that an x? Is there any x next to the negative 12? No, so I don't need to highlight that. What about this positive 6x? Well, as an x. Okay, so it's positive 6x. Okay. Now think about this. Do pinks want to be with pinks? Of course they do. And even though there's a number in between, that's fine. You can still put those together because they're on the same side of the equal sign. So you have a 4x and a positive 6x. You combine those into how many x's total? You get 10 x's total. So I'm going to combine these two. I'm going to write that new number right here. Boom. And now write everything that didn't change. So this didn't change, and these don't change. So equal sign, 44, Make sure you keep it on the right side because it was on the right side. Now this minus 12 is on the left side. Should I put it in front or over here? It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put them over here. So minus 12. Okay, you guys keep noticing how I'm putting the things that didn't change back in the same side, so that way it doesn't mess up, right? Because some people, I feel like, forget to write the stuff that didn't change. I have 10x minus 12 equals 44. What's your next step now? Think about that for a second there. What is your next step? So let's see. We're on inverse operations. So I got to think opposites, and I got to look at SADMAP. Subtraction and addition. Is there anything being subtracted or added next to the x? Ooh, there's a minus 12 here. So think opposites. The opposite of minus 12 is to add 12. So I got to add 12, right? To one side or both, though. Remember that. One side or both. Always both, okay? So add 12 to both sides. Just like this. Equal sign. The 10x won't change. And see, 12 negatives and 12 positives. That's, oh man, they all cancel out. That's a 0, so I'm just going to cross that out. So no point to adding 0 to anything. And 44 plus 12, what do you get there? 44 plus 12, when you add it together, you get a 56. And then the 10x didn't change, so it's on the left side, so I'm going to write that down right here. 10x. Okay, now I'm going to get a decimal as an answer because I know that 10 can't go into 56 perfectly. So let's just follow the process and trust it. Even though it's a decimal, that's okay. So we have to think logically. 10 and x are doing what? Think about the last video, if you did watch it. 10 and x are multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I'm going to divide 10x and 10. But if you do it to one side, do it to the other. So do you guys see how you drew a line right here and put a 10 under? Just like this side. Draw a line, put a 10 under. Even though it's not going to be a pretty number, right? So 10 divided by 10 is 1, so I get 1x left over, right? Equal sign. Okay, now 56 divided by 10. If you have a calculator, you can go ahead and use that. But I don't need one because I'm so good at math now that I just know that this is going to be 5.6. And that is my answer. X is equal to 5.6. Okay? Now, let's think about something new, okay? So, we just did all that. Now, try this one on your own. I'm going to make it very similar to this. So, give me 1 second. Let's go for, we're going to distribute let's just go 3x plus 4. And this time we're going to subtract 10x equals 64 over here. Okay? So I want you guys to go ahead, write this down right here, and try it on your own. Okay? You can hit that pause button anytime now, and once you're done, unpause it, and I will show you how to get the right answer. Okay, so it seems like you hit unpause, and let's look at this. Okay, did you follow your steps up here? Did you see anything to distribute? So look for anything to distribute, right? You do that, and look, that looks simple. If I cover all that up, boom, just distribute that right there, okay? So, we're going to draw little roads, just like this, okay? Now that I did that, now what do? Okay, do you add, subtract, multiply, divide, distribute? It means multiply. So 4, follow the road to 3x. 4 times 3x is a 12x, just like that. And a 4 times a positive 4 gives you a positive, so we put a plus, 16. Now, did the rest of this change? It did not, so I'm going to draw my line on the equal sign. I should have done that first, but that's okay. So negative 10x didn't change. Let's put them right here. Equal sign always on the line equals 64. Just like that. Okay. See, we're on the right track now. So now, get 12x plus 16 equals negative 10x equals 64. Is there any more things to distribute in parentheses? There's not, right? So tell yourself, what did you do next? Did you get this? Hopefully you did, but to do combine like terms is the next step. So let's go ahead and try that. Okay, look at the left side. And I'm going to use my highlighter. I'm going to highlight anything that has an X again. This has an X, and this 10X has an X, right? Now pause. Did I do something wrong? What do you think? You said Mr. Smart? What about that negative symbol? Oh, you're right. You gotta highlight the negative symbol because it belongs to that 10x. So that's negative 10 of them, right? So now think about the last lesson. You had 12 positive x's. Do they get along with the negative 10 x's, or are they going to fight each other, right? And who's going to win? Who has more, the positives or the negatives? The positives have more, right? So now you got to think, okay, 12, and I'm going to have to subtract 10. So 12 minus 10 is 2x. There's 2 x's left, and they're positive because there was more positives. Now, did the plus 16 change? What about this? These didn't change, so I'm going to put the plus 16 on the left side and put the equal sign equals 64. You see, I have a lot of space here, but that's okay as long as we know that this can go over here. Okay, now look at the right side. Is there any like terms over here? Not really, it's just the number 64. Okay, so that's by itself. Left side, this has an X. This does not have an X, right? So I can't combine an X and a normal number. Just can't do that. Okay, so now we're on our last step, inverse operations, and you got to think opposites, right? And look at PEMDAS backwards, SADMAP. What's first? Subtraction and addition. Is there anything being added or subtracted? And there is. The 16. Okay. So I got to do the opposite of plus 16, which is to subtract 16 from both sides. And when you subtract 16 from both sides, like that, this turns to 0, so you don't need it. This 2x doesn't change, so I got to put 2x right here. My equal sign always on the line. And 64 minus 16. Let's see here. I'm going to do a little quick math because I don't know that from the top of my head. 14 minus 6 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 48. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's my answer, right? Well, it's not, because look. That x, just like our past answer over here, x was by itself, but this one isn't by itself. So you're not done with SADPEM. You got to think about division and multiplying. Do you see anything being divided or multiplied? Oh, right here, the 2 and x are multiplying. So opposites. The opposite of multiply is to divide. It's multiplying by 2, so I divide both sides by 2. These turn to 1x. And 48, divide that by 2, equal sign, becomes what? 24. Because half of 48 is 24. So there is my answer. X is equal to 24. Okay. So this is a basic tutorial on how to do all these put together onto equations, okay? Now, on my next video, we're going to get way more advanced, okay? So if you're going to watch that advanced video, okay, make sure you know how to do this first. Get some practice problems. Try these out first. Okay, make sure you know your positive and negative rules when multiplying, when you're adding. Make sure you relook at combining like terms and understand what SADMAP means, and know the word inverse just means opposite. Always draw that line on the equal sign and you'll be okay. So thank you for watching.